Start today's lesson. Yesterday we had till the Haber's process. Today we are doing properties of ammonia. Properties of ammonia. We have written it also. So once again you see what are the properties of ammonia. In the beginning only I told you that ammonia is colorless gas, which is basic in nature, which is alkaline in nature, and which has a strong pungent smell. That is the first property. Ammonia gas is highly soluble in water, and its high solubility in water is demonstrated by Fontaine experiment. For two gases, Fontaine experiments are conducted. They are HCl and ammonia. But the color of the Fontaine will be different. In HCl, the color of the Fontaine will be red, and altogether the color of the Fontaine in case of ammonia will be blue, because ammonia is basic gas. Red litmus solution will turn blue, and HCl gas and blue litmus solution will turn red. Ammonia is lighter than air, and it is highly soluble in water, as I told you already. When ammonia is dissolved in water, there is a chance of back suction, like we had a chance in case of HCl also. Here also there is a chance of back suction. That back suction can be again avoided by funnel arrangement, special funnel arrangement, same as the HCl. But solution of ammonia in water is called ammonium hydroxide. It is basic in nature. It is a kind of base, hydroxides. Whereas HCl gas will be dissolved in water, it makes an acid, that is HCl acid. But ammonia solution in water is ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH. This solution of ammonia is called liquor ammonia, liquor, L-I-Q-U-R, liquor ammonia, and the formula is NH4OH. What is called liquor ammonia fortis, F-O-R-T-I-S, fortis. A saturated solution of ammonia in water is called liquor ammonia fortis. What is the meaning of saturated solution? That means the solution has dissolved. The water has dissolved the maximum quantity of ammonia. Now the water has become saturated. It cannot dissolve any more of ammonia. Just giving one example. Last time I told you that 1 liter of water can dissolve 702 liters of ammonia in it. So let us take 1 liter of water and let us take 702 liters of ammonia. What will happen? All ammonia will go and get dissolved in water. Now the water's capacity is full. Can it dissolve any more quantity of ammonia? The answer is no. So this is called saturated solution. And what is the name given to the saturated solution of ammonia? Liquor ammonia fortis, F-O-R-T-I-S. Fortis means saturated. And the formula is same, NH4OH only. Formula does not change. Hope you got this point. Now, ammonia has ability of, because it is a basic gas, it has ability of reacting with dilute acids, or even the ammonia solution has ability of reacting with dilute acids to form ammonium salt. So reactions you have to see, these reactions are also important. Ammonia plus HCl acid dilute, it will make a direct ammonium salt, like this NH4Cl, direct salt will get without getting water. Same way, if I write ammonia plus H2SO4, it will dilute. It will directly combine with it and make ammonium sulfate, NH4 ammonium sulfate. You put 2, it is balanced. Ammonium nitrate you want to make, you can do NH3 plus HNO3, dilute, it will give ammonium nitrate, NH4NO3, like this, balanced. But if you take ammonia solution is NH4OH plus HCl, then this is base, this is acid. Now the answer will come NH4Cl plus H2O. Now if you take NH4OH plus here H2SO4, the answer will come ammonium sulfate ammonium sulfate plus H2O plus water will also be there. Ammonia and dilute acid gives direct ammonium salt without water, but here when you use hydroxide, that is ammonia solution we are using, or you are using aqueous ammonia. Aqueous means ammonia mixed with water. Then you will get water also here. I mean NaCl plus H2O. Ammonium salt and water. Ammonium sulfate is a very good quality fertilizer. Ammonium sulfate is used as a fertilizer. So this is important. Even ammonium chloride is used in most of the medicines. Ayurvedic medicines, most of the medicines are made from ammonium chloride. It is also a medicinal salt. It is the medicinal salt of ammonia. Okay. We got this point. And now another one which is very important, and they ask at least 3-4 marks question from this portion. This is called analytical chemistry. Analytical chemistry. It's a kind of practical chemistry, but we will not do it as a separate chapter. We are doing it here only, this chapter. Okay, there is a table I have given, so please see the table, and then observations are important here. Cations, and here we have written color of PPT, color of precipitate in the little quantity, of NH4OH or NaOH. We are using either ammonium hydroxide solution or sodium hydroxide solution. And here we have to get the solubility in excess. Solubility in excess. Here there are two sub-columns, NH4OH, and here it is NaOH. Please see this part very properly. First ions, cations name I am given out here is iron, Fe plus 2. Then Fe plus 3. Then I am given magnesium. Then calcium. Then zinc. Then copper. Then lead. Okay, this experiment is performed in two parts. First part, if we are having any salt solution like ferrous maybe chloride or ferrous sulfate, any soluble solution, in that solution we will be adding either NH4OH or NaOH in the little quantity, little bit first. When we add little bit of it, there will be precipitate form, and that precipitate will have color. And from the color we will identify which ion is that, which metallic ion is present in that salt. And after having the precipitate formed, we will be adding the excess of the solution, If we are using NH4OH, first we will use little bit and then excess of NH4OH will add. And we see what happens to the precipitate, whether it remains as it is or it becomes soluble. It changes into solution, we have to check that. So that's why this part will come. If we are doing the experiment with NaOH, first we add little and precipitate will be formed, and then we will add excess. And then we see then whether the precipitate becomes soluble or it remains insoluble. It is in that way we perform. The color of this one is dirty green. If you have the table, please have a look at it. Dirty green precipitate. Here also it is insoluble, here also insoluble. Either use NH4OH or NaOH, this dirty green precipitate of ferrous iron remains insoluble, even in the little quantity or even in excess. Second one I have given reddish brown precipitate. Insoluble and insoluble. It remains same thing is happening in both. Magnesium will be
dull white.
Insoluble. Calcium is
white.
calcium is white, insoluble, and here no reaction. No reaction takes place. Zinc is gelatinous white, gelatinous white, soluble. Copper is pale blue,
insoluble,
soluble,
insoluble.
here. Sodium hydroxide is insoluble and ammonium hydroxide is soluble. Lead is chalky white, PPT. It is insoluble here but soluble here. Please check your table. What is this table? And the colors are also important here. Sometimes they will ask you to match. They will give the ions and the color they will give. Color of PPT will be given. So then according to this, color you have to match. Okay. Now, if by chance a question comes here and we just think and answer. Ferrous chloride solution. In the ferrous chloride solution, we are adding excess of NH4OH. They are not saying immediate quantity, excess they are saying. What will you observe? We know ferrous tank, the color of the indicated quantity, what is that color? Dirty green. And when we take even in excess, it remains the same. That means your observation will be the dirty green precipitate will remain. That means a dirty green precipitate will be observed. Even in the little quantity or even in the excess quantity. For zinc, you see soluble in both. What is the color of the zinc ions or zinc sulfate, zinc carbonate, anything of the zinc salt? What is the color of this? Gelatinous white. And it is soluble. Copper and lead are different here. These two are very, very important. These two are highly important. When we use little quantity of ammonium hydroxide, a pale blue PPT is formed. But when we put excess, then the pale blue precipitate changes into deep blue solution, deep inky blue, ink type blue solution of tetramyl copper sulfate. This observation is very important. And when we do with the NaOH, little quantity, we see pale blue precipitate form. And when we put excess, nothing happens. Pale blue precipitate remains as it is. It does not change into deep blue solution. Just have a look at it. And with the lead, it's just opposite. Here it is insoluble but soluble here. You have to know exactly in which case it is soluble, in which case it is insoluble. Lead precipitate is chalky white in color. When we are using ammonium hydroxide, it remains as it is. But when you put excess, then it becomes soluble. If question comes like this, just think and answer. In the copper sulfate solution, excess of ammonium hydroxide is added. Excess. What will you observe? Don't say that a pale blue precipitate form, because you have to think about excess. Excess can be soluble. You say it changes into deep blue solution. You have to say that. It changes into deep blue solution. What is the name of the deep blue solution? The deep blue solution name I have given on there. That is, the name is quite complicated, but you have to know the formula, and after writing the formula, you can find the name. NH3 is called amine here. 4 is tetraamine copper sulfate. This is a soluble compound, and its color is blue, deep blue. That means when you put excess of this, then deep blue it changes into deep blue solution. On the other hand, if the question comes like this, when in the copper sulfate solution, excess of sodium hydroxide is added, excess. What happens to it? We know in the little quantity also pale blue precipitate and the excess also insoluble. So the precipitate remain as it is. What we will see? We will see that it forms a pale blue precipitate. So that way we have to answer. That time it will not form this and it will not change into deep blue solution. And late time it is just opposite. When we add excess of ammonium hydroxide, it will form a chalkified precipitate. But when we put excess of sodium hydroxide, it changes into solution. And what is the color of the solution? It is white. Because white, it will form a white color solution. White solution. That will happen. You have to answer very carefully. And one reaction I will show, or here, any one reaction. Suppose we are taking anything of any salt. I will take the salt, say for example, I am taking FeCl2. This is ferrous chloride. Here I am adding NH4OH. NH4OH. Let us see what reaction will take place. Reaction will be like this. Fe will combine with OH. Here you will write FeOH whole 2 and this will combine with this, it will form NH4Cl. Put 2 this time. This hydroxide is insoluble, so this is precipitate. All the precipitates are here in the form of their hydroxide. Ferrous hydroxide, ferric hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, zinc hydroxide, copper hydroxide, all of them are there in the form of hydroxides. And all the hydroxides are insoluble except those of sodium, potassium and ammonium. So the color of ferrous hydroxide is jumping. Even you take little quantity or take excess. Or with NaOH also, if you add NaOH here, the answer will become FeOH whole 2 plus NaCl. That time will become NaCl if you are using NaOH. Similarly, if you are having ferric chloride plus NH4OH. What answer do you expect now? This time the answer will be, this is ferric 3 valency, FeOH whole 3 will be formed here. FeOH whole 3 and this will combine with this, that is NH4Cl. Yes, you can put a valency number. FeCl3 is there, so you put 3, you have to put 3 times. Similarly, if I take this one, anything with zinc, say zinc sulfate plus maybe NaOH, I am taking NaOH. What answer are you expected to get? The answer will be ZnOH whole 2. ZnOH whole 2 plus Na2SO4. Na is combined with this Na2SO4. This is precipitate. And what is the color of zinc hydroxide? What kind of precipitate? So here it is, directly left side. So that will be the reaction takes place. And observation is over here. But I talked about mainly about this copper. Copper sulfate plus NH4OH in the little quantity. NH4, the answer will become CuOH whole 2 plus this will combine with this ammonium sulfate. NH4 whole 2 SO4. This way the reaction takes place. What is the color of this precipitate? Color of this precipitate is pale blue precipitate. And this precipitate will dissolve in the excess. That is, we write as CuOH whole 2 plus NH4OH. This will give the answer tetramine copper sulfate. Then for this will be writing like this. This is also there. Entire solution, that is NH4 whole 2 SO4 is also there. This will form CuNH3 whole 4 SO4. So this reaction you don't need to write, you don't need to mark up, but the main thing is this compound. This is the deep blue solution. That's why when you put excess, that means little and together, once again you are putting on here, you are adding up here. This is excess and this is the compound. tetramine copper sulfate. This reaction we don't need to learn, but we have to know the name of the compound. That means observation is also important. And then solubility. Any question you want to ask on this, please ask me. Then we tell you. Calcium hydroxide precipitate is white in color. When we add excess of, when we are doing with ammonium hydroxide, it is insoluble. But when we are doing with the sodium hydroxide, there is no reaction taking place. With sodium, calcium reaction does not take place because both of them are highly active metals, so reaction does not occur. So calcium salt and we should not use sodium hydroxide. Okay, anything else? Tetramine copper sulfate, CuNH3 whole 4 SO4, that is called tetramine copper sulfate. It is there in the copy, you can see that. Tetramine copper sulfate. TETRA, tetra, mine, MINE, tetramine copper sulfate. Yes? Yes, Upal. Any other question? Okay, if you have the book now, you can see the page number 262. Page number 262. In this page, they have given the same thing what I gave over here. This is called analytical chemistry. Page number 262 you will see, and it is given there in the table only. Calcium is insoluble in case of ammonium hydroxide. That's what I have written there, insoluble. And in case of NaOH, they have given it black way. There is no reaction taking place. So this is correct. So if I think there was a mistake in the notes which I had sent, and you need to make correction, and you must have made it accepted now. Okay. Yes. Now, next property that is also very, very important. Ammonia is neither combustible nor it is a supporter of combustion. Combustion is burning. It does not burn itself, neither it supports burning. But in the atmosphere of oxygen, it burns. According to the two different reactions, those reactions are very important. Ammonia and oxygen, right? There is ammonia plus oxygen. Again, I write ammonia plus oxygen. NH3 plus O. And first case, you should know the product will be N2 plus H2O. Second case, the product will be NO plus H2O. Difference is N2 and not is NO. And here, this is exothermic reaction, we put a Higgs and oxygen. And this NO quickly combines with the oxygen and ultimately it will form NO2. 2 here and 2 here get added. First, you learn the products. Ammonia, oxygen can give nitrogen and water. Ammonia, oxygen can give nitric oxide. Nitrogen monoxide also we call it, or nitric oxide plus H2O. But this nitric oxide quickly combines with the oxygen with excess of air and gives NO2. Okay. This time the observation will be greenish yellow flame or just green flame. And after this is reddish brown fume, reddish brown fume will be liberated. And you see the balancing number makes a lot of difference. You write 4, you write 4 in both the cases. And here you write 3 and here you write 5. When you write 5, then you need to write catenary here, PT. You can take, remember this way, P for 5, then write 5 over here. And another case, there is no catalyst here. This is the catalyst here, remember. When you write 5, then you write P. It is an easy way of remembering it. Yeah. And when it is 3, no catalyst will be like this. When it is 3, the products are N2 and H2O. But when it is 5, the products are NO and H2O. You have to learn it properly. Reactants are same, but the products are different. Slightly different. This is N2 and this is NO. And observations are also different. In the first case, ammonia burns in a jar of oxygen with green flame. Which reaction would you write? The first one or the second one? First one, because green flame. Ammonia bursts in a jar of oxygen in the presence of a catalyst. Which reaction would you write? The second one. What is the name of the catalyst? We say platinum. And this reaction's temperature is 700 to 800 degrees Celsius. And what will you observe in the second case? In the second case, there are two observations. First observation is the reddish brown fume formed. And the second observation is the catalyst platinum will glow red hot throughout the reaction. It will glow red hot. And only initial heating is done because the reaction is exothermic. The heat generated by the reaction will maintain the necessary temperature of 700 to 800 degrees Celsius. Second reaction is called catalytic oxidation of ammonia. This is also oxidation of ammonia but without catalyst. And this is the oxidation of ammonia in the presence of catalyst platinum. So this reaction is known as catalytic oxidation of ammonia, which is used as the initial reaction of Ostwald's process for the manufacturing of nitric acid. The next chapter we are doing nitric acid. Over there is another process, Ostwald's process to manufacture nitric acid. There this reaction is used as the initial reaction. The first reaction is this one. So even question may come, what is the name given to this reaction? We say catalytic oxidation of ammonia. Name an industrial process related to this reaction. We say Ostwald's process for the manufacture of nitric acid. Hope you understood it. This is called catalytic oxidation of ammonia. This is just called oxidation of ammonia. And if they give the observations and they ask you to write down the relevant equations, then you have to see the observation: green flame, reddish brown fume. Accordingly, you write down the equation. And what is common in both the equations? The 4 is common. And one case you write 3 and next case you write 5. 5 that is PT. 5. P and 5. You write that. And let us balance it now. Once I write 4, then I balance it now. 4 and you have to put 2, then balance. 4 3s are 12 guys, you have to put 6. Now balance. Second reaction also didn't balance. Now I balance. 4 now, then you have to put 4 over here. 4 3s are 12, you have to put 6. Now it's balanced. The numbers are playing key role. 4 is common here, 3 and 5 products are different. And conditions also become different. So same reactants but two different type of reactions is important. Okay, this is first case of ammonia is getting oxidized. That is, ammonia is a strong reducing agent. Catalytic oxidation of ammonia. And the two observations I told you already. Platinum glowing red hot and the reddish brown fume. Okay. Now another one. Ammonia is a powerful reducing agent. What are the evidences? What are the proofs? We have a proof over here. When heated black copper oxide, when ammonia gas is passed through, then the black copper oxide changes into brown copper metal, brown or pink copper metal. And the equation I show out here. The equation is ammonia plus CuO, or you can add Cu first and ammonia later, it is the same. CuO plus LH3. Then answer will come, this will be reduced, that is copper plus H2O plus N2. Let us balance this reaction. To balance the reaction, you have to remember that you have to put 3 over here. Then it will be balanced. Now 3 Cu, then you have to put 3. N2 is there, you have to put 2. So 2 3s are 6H, you have to put 3. It is all balanced. This is brown copper metal, brown. Copper oxide is black. Copper oxide is black in color. That is, the black solid will change into brown copper metal when ammonia gas is passed through it. Which property of ammonia is illustrated by this reaction? We say reducing property, or when ammonia is a powerful reducing agent. It is reducing oxygen from it and giving metal. You can take it the other way also. Ammonia is reducing copper oxide and copper oxide is oxidizing ammonia. Oxidizing. How it is oxidizing? Because it is removing hydrogen from it and giving nitrogen. So in the reaction, what is the reduced product? Copper. And what is the oxidized product? N2. If the question may also come like this, identify the reduced product and oxidized product. Reduced product is copper and oxidized product is nitrogen. Or write on a reaction in which ammonia is oxidized by a metal oxide, black metal oxide. We will write this reaction, black metal oxide. And we have a similar reaction with lead oxide, 3PbO plus 2NH3. Same way, balancing number also will go the same way. We will get 3Pb plus 3H2O plus N2. Nitrogen gas. The color of Pb is yellow. But this copper oxide and lead oxide has to be heated. Then only we pass ammonia and we have this observation and this reaction taking place. Lead oxide is reduced to lead, whereas ammonia is oxidized to nitrogen. And the color of lead metal is silver grey. Silver grey. Observation you have to know. Silver grey. Which property of ammonia is illustrated? We say reducing property. Ammonia is reducing this and this one is oxidizing ammonia. It is a right of the reaction in which two metal oxides are oxidizing ammonia and we write this reaction. Hope it is clear. Now I show you a diagram that is also quite important diagram. They will show a tube like this. Question comes like this, just have a look at it. There are two solids A and B, the color of which are black and yellow. Black and yellow. When gas H is passed over it, the black residue, the black solid changes into brown or pink metal. And this changes into silver grey metal. Identify the gas H. The gas H will be ammonia. And what is this black oxide? Black oxide is copper oxide. And this yellow solid is PbO. Now, second part of question says, state your observation when the gas H reacts with HCl. That is gas H is ammonia. When it reacts with HCl, you know the reaction NH3 plus HCl will give dense white fume consisting of solid particles of NH4Cl. So you will write that. So interestingly they ask question, okay, but observations are important. Again the question will come, which property of the gas H is illustrated by your observation? Which property of the gas? You say reducing property. Ammonia is a strong reducing agent. Write on the reaction taking place with the solid A. You write this reaction only. Write on the reaction taking place with the solid B. You write only this reaction. So you have to have full knowledge, and they are at liberty to ask you question in a twisted manner, in whichever manner they want, they can ask. If you have a solid knowledge, you can think and answer wisely. Which part? Last part, the observations, the gas H is passed, the black one is changing into pink metal. What is the gas H? The ammonia. What property of ammonia is seen in this reaction? Reducing property. When the gas H reacts with HCl gas, what will you observe? It's a dense white fume. NH3 plus HCl gives dense white fume. In the HCl chapter we have done that. No? That is the test for HCl gas. And even that is the test for ammonia also. Write down the reaction taking place with the solid A. Write this reaction. You understood the observation? These two are heated, that's why the burners are used to keep in the heated form. Then the reaction will take place. Which property of ammonia is seen here in this reaction? Reducing property, remember it. Yes. Hope you understood now? Okay. Now another reaction that is also very, very important. Ammonia and chlorine reaction. Ammonia and chlorine. Okay, I write ammonia here, Cl2 here. Again I write ammonia and I write Cl2. Okay, see, first case the product is NH4Cl plus N2. Second case the product is NCl3 plus HCl. See the difference, the two different products. And out here what is common in both? 3, 3. Number 3 is same. In one case we write 8, other case we write nothing. That is, in the first case ammonia is in excess. Ammonia is in excess quantity. Second time chlorine is 3 part, this is 1 part. Chlorine is in excess. This is ammonium chloride, that is base white fume, and the other product is nitrogen. I think about this reaction I had already told you in the chapter HCl. That there are two situations where we get dense white fume when the two gases are reacting together. One was NH3 and HCl gas, now NH3 and Cl2 chlorine gas also will give dense white fume plus some other product, and some other product is nitrogen. Here ammonia is in excess, that's why both the product will be nitrogen product. Here also NH4Cl, here also NCl. Cl will come once only. And the second time chlorine is in excess, that's why both the products are containing chlorine. So the name of this product is NCl is called nitrogen trichloride and HCl. Both of them are liquids. Here both of them are gaseous product. This is in the form of dense white fume and N2 is a gas. And here both of them are liquids. This is oily explosive liquid. This one NCl3, oily explosive liquid. So you have to know exactly which one is excess and we get what. And what is common in both the equation 3 is common, vanishing number. And one case you put 8, then you can vanish now. When you write 8, you write 6, then 6n plus 2 will become 8. Now it's vanished. Second reaction you see 3Cl2, 3 to the 6, you have to put 2. No, this is already out here. You have to put 3, not is vanished. 6, 3Cl, 3Cl, 6Cl, vanished. Please check your copy. If there is any mistake, then please you can correct it. Is that clear? In this reaction, ammonia is reducing chlorine and chlorine is oxidizing ammonia. It can go the other way also. Write down the reaction in which chlorine oxidizes excess of ammonia. You write this reaction, excess of ammonia, this reaction. Chlorine is oxidizing, excess of chlorine is oxidizing ammonia in that reaction. And the observation is also different. Reactions also different. Products are different. So where there is a chance of confusion, no, the students can make mistakes. That part, particularly they are going to ask you analysis. I have written just some time back NH3 plus O2. Again I have written NH3 plus at home also you need to practice like this. 4 common, here you put 3, here you put 5. What is the answer here? I told you the answer in this case is N2 plus H2O. That you have to know exactly, this is the answer. Second case the answer will be NO plus 6H2O, 6 coming. Later on you can put balancing number, it gets easily balanced now. 2 plus heat, and here you get PT, platinum. 5, 5. So this is how you need to practice at home. Write on the left hand side and try to complete the right hand side and the product by writing yourself, practice. And check whether you are able to write it correctly or not. By chance, maybe in the first attempt you may be making mistake. Correct it in the second attempt, at that time only. Third attempt. So if you practice 4-5 days continuously, then you will know exactly what is the product. And particularly in the case where there is confusion, here also ammonium chlorine, here also ammonium chlorine, but two different products, two different reactions. And two different conditions also. Here excess of ammonia and here excess of chlorine. Hope you understood it. So please please do practice like this. Common numbers, some numbers are magic numbers. Okay, if you remember those numbers, you can easily balance. So those numbers you have to learn by heart and by the way of practice, you know what number should come. If I take you back to the HCl chapter, I have written there MnO2 plus HCl. If you remember the reaction, PbO2 plus HCl. And I wrote Pb3O4 plus HCl, and I have written KMnO4 plus HCl. This is how you need to practice at home also. K2Cr2O7 plus HCl. This is all concentrated, and you're heating. You're heating every time. And balancing number, if you remember, it was 4. It is similar. So 4, it was 8, it was 16, and out here it was 14. And then you answer becomes salt, water, and CO2. So that salt will MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Then you can easily balance later on. Same answer here. PbCl2 plus H2O plus H. This is only the example I am giving. How you need to practice at home. And just rotate the observation in your mind. MnO2 was also black. So when you heat it with concentration, it gives greenish yellow, chlorine gas coming out. So all those observations are also important. So please practice like this as I have suggested you, and in your copy, please practice all the equations. At least maybe one day, one chapter's equation you write and practice. Left hand side you write and try to complete the right hand side. Maybe in the first attempt, first 3-4 attempts, you may be making mistakes, but later on, you will not make mistakes. Okay. So properties are, I think, all over. After that, we begin the test for ammonia. Test. The test I have given already. When a glass rod dipped in concentrated HCl is brought near ammonia gas base white fluid. That is the first test. Second test is the copper oxide one. The heated copper oxide, when we pass ammonia gas, the black heated copper oxide changes into brown or pink copper metal. That is the second test. The equation also are written. Third test is Nessler's reagent. The formula of Nessler's reagent is K2HgI4. This is for potassium mercury iodide. This is called Nessler's reagent. This is also important. Nessler's reagent. Nessler's reagent is actually colorless, but when we pass ammonia gas through it, it turns brown. Name the gas which is tested or detected by Nessler's reagent. Answer is ammonia. Remember, in that context, this is important. And after that, you will take the uses of ammonia. Okay, uses of ammonia, there are many to use. I told you why we manufacture ammonia. I told you that it is used by refrigerant plants, ice plants, air conditioning plants. So exactly the same. Actually, here we say liquor ammonia, liquor, L-I-Q-U-R, liquor ammonia, that is ammonium hydroxide. Liquor ammonia, that is NH4OH, is used as a cleaning agent to clean or to remove oil or grease stains from the clothes. And the liquid ammonia is used as a refrigerant in ice plants, in refrigeration industries. For vaccine also, to store the vaccine. Yes, correct. I think last time I gave that example also, COVID example. That's very good, Bharat. What is the difference between liquid ammonia and liquor ammonia? Or the same thing? The answer is they are different. Liquid ammonia is the ammonia gas in the liquid form. And formula of liquid ammonia is NH3. Whereas liquor ammonia is the solution of ammonia in water. That is prepared by back suction, a special funnel arrangement to avoid back suction. And the formula of liquor ammonia is NH4OH. Hope the uses are okay, you understood it. This was all about the chapter. I think this chapter is also finished. All I explained to you.